intimidated because I'm not a teacher per se, and I certainly don't deal with the many hurdles and problems and perspectives that you deal with. So I thought we might have a conversation today. You know, sometimes as musicians, as artists, we have to not use our weapon, our instrument as a weapon. We really have to be able to talk about music. We have to be able to talk. Maybe things change. Maybe. Well, here's how my mind works. Tiffany's in New York City issued a memo 15 years ago, and they issued a memo saying that if you see a customer wearing baggy pants, white tennis shoes, baseball cap, that these particular customers would be immediately kind of escorted out of the building. Why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because of how things change in perspective. A few years ago, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they issued another memo. Customers wearing baggy pants, white tennis shoes, and baseball hats are to be treated with the utmost respect because they are impulsive buyers and are often wealthy. The point being that hip-hoppers and rappers were some of their best clients. So, and it really, and I understood the company. I mean, I'm not condoning what they did. I'm not saying what they did was all right, but I understand this notion of, yeah, now you have young men and women who are multi-millionaires who, what do? They buy jewelry at Tiffany's and other places. So that's how my mind works. On perspective.
You can just call it out.
No hands.
No hands, just call it out.
No.
Anarchy. Chaos reigns.
Okay. All right. Here. No. We're still doing questions.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and I'm coming from a parent's perspective, because my kids, and it's sort of for you, and it's sort of for me as a parent, and helping me when they want to give up. And was there a point when you were like, you know, I'm tired of the violin right now, and and like that has to be okay. Like you have to let them be okay with that, you know.
Okay. So I quit when I was 12 years old. I quit orchestra when I was 12 years old because it was embarrassing. We would do these assemblies. Jazz band was cool. Brass band was cool. We had a marching band. They even had a rock band one year that brought the house down. And they would always make the orchestra play last. I mean, it was so horrific as a 6th grader. And I was in the advanced orchestra. We would get booed. Teachers would leave. Teachers would. I mean, it was so clear that we were. I had to be careful when I think about it because, well, I haven't thought about it in a while. I get a little.
Yeah, where was this? Where was this?
It was humiliating. It was in South Florida. All of us in the orchestra, we loved what we were doing. But then they made us do these assemblies, and I quit. I took 2 years of that. Mother, I remember she said, "All right, you can quit the orchestra, but but she made it clear pretty much every day that I was going to regret it." Mrs. Dickmeyer, Mrs. Black, Mrs. Griffiths. Oh man, Mrs. Griffiths, orchestra teacher. See, you remember them because they cared so deeply and so profoundly. Mrs. Griffiths was the 8th grade orchestra teacher. Now I quit orchestra, but she still let me compose for the group. So I wrote a piece for the group that had chorus, orchestra, and rock band. And it was called Give Us Tomorrow, Give Us Today. So, we cannot turn this into this, but I'll just tell you. My dad has it. So it was free to live in perfect harmony. Give us tomorrow, give us today. What I did was I wrote a song for the Students Against Drunk Driving. Because I knew if I did that, I could get their support. They were like the coolest kids for whatever reasons. Captain of the cheerleaders, most beautiful, coolest, were all in students. Well, also to get into college. But if you were in that group, they were very selective. You couldn't just join Students Against Drunk Driving. It's so weird. But they were really cool. So I said, well, I'm going to write a song for you. And then we'll get the chorus. We'll get in my mind, I was like, if I did it that way, who's going to say no to that? So the chorus director, the orchestra, I got everybody together. And then I also knew if it was big enough, they would have to put it last on the assembly. So I wasn't in orchestra. But Mrs. Griffiths, she let me do it. And we had like 3 or 4 rehearsals after school, and I think about it, it's so crazy. After school, I was conducting, and we did this song with this guy singing, who was also a solo singer. And we did the song, and I remember everybody I just remember it was the first time where the orchestra was cool, you know? And we did it. We did it from the ground up. So I really owe Mrs. Griffiths a lot. To show you, I'm going to do 10 seconds for 10 seconds. 1 for 1 means 1 minute for 1 minute. But I'm going to do 10 seconds for 10 seconds. I'm going to compose a piece in 10 seconds. Not a sketch, not an idea. I'm going to compose a piece. It will have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Same thing. You got 1 minute. You're going to compose for 1 minute, and then we will.
Mine went like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ba. That's all.
Bravo! The reason why I do these exercises is because you can already see by the time you start getting into 5 for 5, 10 for 10, 15 for 15. I mean, when I do this with composition students at Vanderbilt University and other, when I've done this with other college students, by the time we get to 30 for 30, I mean, they come back and they say, Dr. Roumain, I had 2 hours to compose last night. I felt like I could have composed an opera.